people who waiting room. So, okay, well, hello everyone. Good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are. We're very happy to host this webinar. We're going to start in about 2 minutes. It's going to be 12 Eastern time when we start. But until then, please feel free to let us know where you're from, so you can put it in the chat. And we'll shout it out. We are recording this webinar, so if you need to leave in the middle, don't worry, we will send a recording once the webinar is over. Yeah, so let's see where people are from. People from Florida, Milwaukee. If you just join us, welcome. You can tell us where you're from, so we can see. Usually we get people from all over the world. We have St. Louis, Pennsylvania, Iowa, but you can put the cities also. Very fun to learn about new places. Wow, so many people. That's awesome. Yeah, I think this topic is very interesting. In Photomyne, we get a lot of questions about how to print photo books. So definitely it's a webinar that we've been waiting for to gain more knowledge on this process, which we all do, but how to incorporate old photos as well there. We see people from Charlotte, Houston, Texas, South Dakota, Louisville, Texas. Yeah, we have people from all over. We're going to start in about a minute, so feel free to put your name, where you're from. And in about a minute, we'll start. Oh, wow, wow. We have so many people. If you can see in the chat, Canada.
I see a few fellow Canadians.
We do have Canadians.
Yep.
Pennsylvania, Boston. Awesome. We'll give it another 20 seconds and then we'll kick it off, as you don't want to waste any time. If you just join us, welcome. You can put your name and where you're from in the chat. We'll start very, very soon. We are recording this webinar, so as I said before, if you need to leave or don't hear correctly, we will send a recording of this webinar that you can view on your YouTube channel, on our YouTube channel. And also, if you want to send to anyone else wish to join us, you can send them the link for registration, or you can send them our YouTube channel that they can view it there. Okay, it's 12:01 Eastern time, so we can definitely start. So hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. We're so happy to host another session. I think this is our 6th webinar this year. Very exciting for us. And today we'll explore how to turn your favorite photos into stunning photo books. If you haven't joined us before, so my name is Mickey Atir. I'm the CMO for Photomyne. I've been working here for almost 9 years, I would say. So I'm in charge of all the marketing here. And I'm also in charge of the webinars, something that I very much like to do. And I'm delighted to introduce a special guest with us today, Shanna, she's a professional photo manager and the owner of GingerSnaps, I hope I said it correctly, a photo organization company that can help you bring order to your photo chaos, whether it's digital or printed. So today, as I said in the beginning, the title of the webinar is Creating Stunning Photo Books. So I guess Shanna will explain it better than me, but definitely we'll discuss how to prepare your photos for creating a photo books, how to design engaging layouts, and how to use templates. And also you'll learn about some other companies that can help you in this process, and how to create a photo books from scratch. Some housekeeping before we jump off to the presentation and hand it over to Shayna. So all the questions that you guys have, you can put in the chat or in the Q&A section. So it's going to be easier in the Q&A, so me and Mary can answer you directly. But if you want to put it in the chat also, Stay also alert for the chat, as we will put valuable links, and we'll follow up on what Shanna is presenting in terms of tips and other links that can help you in this process, but also links for Photomyne and for the photo managers. Again, if you need any support related to Photomyne, you can ask questions, but you can also email us at support@photomyne.com. We're always here to help you with that. We extended our Amazon President Week sale that we had, so it's still available on our Amazon store. I'll put a link in the chat. You can get 30% off our Amazon accessories for help you in your scanning process. It's very nice to check it out. And as I said, like before we started, this webinar is being recorded, and we will send the recording with all the emails and links and the summary of this webinar probably tomorrow. I haven't introduced Mary. So Mary is the representative of the photo managers, which we partner with, and they help us to organize those amazing webinars that I think gives a lot of value for the Photomyne users. And Mary is also here to answer questions about the photo managers, but also help to coordinate all the questions that you guys have for the photo books. So I think I have all the notes that I wrote for myself, so I can hand it over to you, Shanna. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, I'm excited to be here. So I think I will start sharing my screen. I have slides to go through to talk about various things, and then I'll come back onto the screen with you to answer your questions. And at that time, I can show you any samples that I have here that pertain to your questions. I'm happy to do that too. So I will go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so today we will go through the 6 steps that it takes to create photo books. Now, I will touch on as much detail as I can. There are so many details that we can get into with photo books that I can't cover it all today, but I'll try to fit in as much as I can. And there are other ways that we can connect if you would like to learn further. So let me connect here to my, oh, sorry, 1 second here. Okay. So as said, my name is Shanna. I'm a certified photo manager. I'm in Southwestern Ontario. So I saw a few of your locations come through. Some of you are not too far from me. So that's nice. I was just explaining that we've had this big weather event over the last number of days here. You can see the snow out my window that we've basically been snowed in for quite a few days, but it's starting to clear today. So anyway, I love to work with people and their photos all around the world. So I have 5 basic services that I offer. And this is just so that you can understand where I'm coming from in what I have to offer you when it comes to photo books. So digital photo organization is something I offer to my clients. People bring me all their digital devices and I help get everything organized out of clouds and organized. Printed photo curation. So I help people go through their printed photos and get things all in order. Custom photo books. I do a lot of custom books for my clients, a lot over the years, not only for myself and my family, but professionally now for people for a while now. Video conversions. So I convert old media to digital, and then I do a lot of scanning and digitizing. And the scanning could be photos, slides, negatives, memorabilia, basically anything that people want to include in a digital way. So what we'll talk about today, these are the 6 steps we're going to cover, and then a little bonus at the end that I have for you. So 3 things that I want to mention before we dive into the 6 steps is we have to keep this process as simple as possible. So many people are so overwhelmed with photo books, they don't know where to start, what program to use, how do I organize my photos, how do I even begin? We need to just really try to keep it as simple as possible. And of course, when you get into books like documenting a family history that are really in depth, those can get more complicated, but generally you can keep a photo book fairly simple. You can accomplish your task, you can get your photos out in print so they can be enjoyed. We have to really try not to overthink every step. And this is super hard when it comes to design. We all know this is hard. Choosing your photos, you feel like you need to include every photo and which one do I leave out? And oh, that one person has that one photo that I need, and it just makes everything complicated. So we have to try not to overthink every step. And also expect a little bit of imperfection. When we get books back from the print shop, maybe you'll see that you spelled the name incorrectly, or a location is slightly off, or maybe you do have 2 photos in there twice. It's okay. It's a representation of real life. Real life is not perfect. Your photo books are probably not going to be perfect, but they're going to be awesome. So let's get them out so they can be printed and enjoyed. So first thing we'll talk about is theme. Some of you know exactly what book you want to create or what books you would like to create, and some of you just know you would like photo books. So where do you start? So I always tell people, make a list of all the books you would love to see on your shelf. Oh, I want to do our wedding album, and I have kids 4, 5, and 6 who don't have a book yet. Or we did this vacation to wherever in 2018, and I'd love to create a book. Sit down and write a list of all the books you would love to see on your shelf or on your coffee table. Then you can look at that list and you can decide, okay, I'm going to start with this one. I'm excited about it. I feel like I have a handle on it. I'm going to start with this one. Now, the second thing I will say about the theme, I've put a star beside a couple here. If you are just starting out, choose a theme that's more focused, something that's a little smaller. Your photos. So for example, everybody loves to do an annual family album or a family yearbook, some people call it. And that's great. That is a lot. That's a lot to cover. You have so many photos now on your phone and wherever else, if you use other cameras. It's really tricky to tackle an entire year for your first photo book. So choose maybe your favorite nature photos or a weekend getaway, something that you can focus on and create a book, start to finish, get it out there and get it enjoyed. The one that I will highlight at the bottom there called Month in the Life. So I gave this challenge to a few people in a Facebook group I had going for photo books. I don't think it was this past August, maybe the one before. So for the month of August, I said, take one photo every month. And then at the end of the month, all you need to do is put one photo on one page in your photo book and hit print. You don't need to worry about design and embellishing and text. You capture around here, because we live on a farm, August is a very busy month. So I thought this will be a really interesting month to capture. So let's do August. So when we look back on that little book, and I can show you that little book, actually I have it sitting on my desk in preparation for today. And both my sons and my husband at different times came in and picked it up to look through it, because it shows you when you have the books printed, you have them out, people are going to look and enjoy them. So choose a focused theme to start. Unless you're somewhat experienced in this, then of course choose whichever you'd like. But to dive into family history or to dive into your annual family album first might be a little bit overwhelming. Okay, step number 2 is to choose what program you want to use to design. And this is a big topic. But the first thing you need to bring it back to is, where do you want to do the work? Do you want to use your computer? Do you have a nice big computer screen you'd like to work on? Do you have a laptop you like to use? Maybe you like to curl up on the couch with your tablet or out on the deck with your tablet. Are you a person who wants to use your phone for everything while you're in between meetings or sitting in a vehicle waiting for people? If you have a phone, are you iPhone or are you Android? That can make a difference. Or do you have a combination? So maybe you have your iPhone that you would love to be able to hop onto, but you have a Windows laptop. So when you're at home, you'd like to use your laptop. These are all factors, because some programs that you can use are mobile friendly, some are not mobile friendly, some are Windows only, some are created for Mac. So think about, practically speaking, where do you want to do the work? Again, we're going to keep it simple. We don't need to complicate this. If you know your phone is what's going to work practically to get this book done, then approach your project from that standpoint. If you have a nice big computer to work on, maybe your options are a little more open to programs, but decide first realistically, where do you want to do the work? Now that you've decided where you're going to do the work, what program, and this is a big topic, and I know some of the questions that came in ahead of time with registration were relating to what program do I use. So I'm going to go through a few of them, the ones that are on this list, and give you my thoughts. I know there are more. I've used many of these and others, so I have experience in how the interfaces work, but it's also a personal preference thing. So I will give you my opinions on them. If there's one that you would like to try, feel free to go out and try it. So the first one on this list is Picto. So I'm in Canada. Picto.ca is a Canadian company. So I've always tried to print in Canada when possible over the years, but I would say now especially, we're trying to find our, solid Canadian product. Picto is a great company, great quality. The only catch I would say with using Picto is it's not as intuitive as it could be for first-time users. If you are someone who has never created a book before and you want to hop online and you're ready to go, it could be a little tricky. They did a big update to their interface within the last year, and it has improved immensely. But I would still say that some of the other platforms are going to be a little more user-friendly if you're new. If you are a person who can hop into a program and figure it out, then 100% I would recommend Picto. Great quality books, and that is important. The next one, Mixbook. Mixbook is really widely known. I'm sure you've heard of it. I also love to use Mixbook. It is a US company, but they do print in Canada. They have print houses in Canada. So for me, again, that's a factor. I know that you are from all over the world, so you'd have to look into exactly where these items are printed related to where you're located. But Mixbook, I would say, is one of the most intuitive interfaces that I've used. I like to send DIYers there because I feel like it's very user-friendly. Plenty of template options to get you started. And a lot of sales. So if you create your book and you can be a little bit patient, you are going to receive a coupon through your email that will help you purchase that book at a decent price. So Mixbook is definitely one I recommend. Canva. So many people use Canva for so many things, and a lot of people don't realize that you can also use it to design photo books. You can type in the search bar photobook, or you can type in the search bar photobook pages. So you could create the pages in Canva if that's where you like to design, and then upload them and print them wherever you're happy with your photo book printing. In Canada, when you print through Canva, the printing happens at Staples. For me, a Staples quality photo book is not what I'm looking for. Maybe you like them, maybe you're happy with that, that's great. In the US, I'm not sure where Canva prints, and maybe it varies from state to state. I'm not sure on that. In other places of the world, I'm not sure either where you would print through Canva, but you do have the option for carrying on with your order, your design through Canva and hitting print, submitting it, or you can simply design your pages there, take those pages when you're finished and upload them to another site like Mixbook or Picto or whatever other site you like to use and order your book at that point. Album Stomp. If there are any photographers in the group, maybe you've heard of Album Stomp. Album Stomp, and there's another one very similar to it called Smart Albums that I could have listed here. Those programs were created originally for photographers to easily put together photos from a photo shoot into a book layout so they could send it to their clients. So it works very quickly and efficiently. It's a very basic layout, square with white in between, unless you change your background color to black, but it's very simple. You can add text. It's a little bit clunky because it's not created for that. So if you want very simple layout, quick movements, get your photos out there and print the book, great. The thing with Album Stomp is you create your pages and then you still have to take those pages and upload them to a print designer site to actually end up with your book. Same as I was talking about with Canva. Project Life, for those of you, when we're talking about what device or what platform you want to design on, Project Life is an app. So it is for your phone or your tablet only. It did come out, there was one version of Mac laptops, a MacBook with the M2 chip, I think it is, that you could run Project Life on, but it's a little bit glitchy. And I'm actually not positive if they pursued that and they've made that better or if they gave up on it. I'm not totally sure because I always use it on a tablet. So if you are on your phone or a tablet, Project Life is super easy to use and tons of options as far as embellishing your page with cards, and you have to kind of see it to know what it's like, and I can give you more information on it after this presentation if you would like it, but it's something to look into if you prefer to work on a mobile device. Chapbooks and Blurb, these are two more popular ones. I have used them in the past. I don't use them regularly. People are happy with them, so those are two options that you could check out. Adobe. So for the designers in the group, you may have access to the Adobe programs, so Photoshop and InDesign and Illustrator and all those. InDesign is set up for like book layout, so it's easy to put spreads together in Adobe or in InDesign. People also use Photoshop for that. I know Photoshop was not designed for that. You do end up with these super large files, but it is a place that you can put page designs together. If you're used to working in those programs and that's where you want to be, then stick with it and design where you want to work. Artisan and Forever. So Artisan is a program, it's a desktop program. And if you prefer the digital scrapbooking style, so if you were a scrapbooker back in the day, or maybe you still are and you want to kind of transition to photo books digitally, Artisan is more of a scrapbooking style. So lots of color, lots of layers, lots of embellishments. It's a digital scrapbooking program that you can purchase from Forever. So also through Forever, they have an online design site where you can create your books and other photo products and order them as well. For those in the US, Forever is a great option. For us in Canada, and I'm assuming for maybe other parts of the world, it's pricey to order through Forever just with the shipping and the duties and the exchange. And so I tend to not order through Forever, although book quality is really good. I do have a couple books from Forever because I wanted to test it out. So the book quality is great. So those are two options through Forever that you could explore. Shutterfly. I'm sure that most of you have heard of Shutterfly. Some people love to work in Shutterfly. Shutterfly is not my favorite. It's not my favorite platform and it's not my favorite book quality, but some people love it. So I'm just giving you my opinion. If you're happy in Shutterfly, then please go ahead and design in Shutterfly. One thing that I really want to make clear is you need to design where it's practical and you need to design where you're happy designing because you want to be able to get the work done. All of our photos are hiding on our phones and our computers, and that's no good for anybody. So if Shutterfly is what you love and you can get it out there, then go ahead and use whatever is going to work for you. Okay, so now that you've decided where you're going to do the design, you need to decide on the size and style of your book. So will you create a square book, a landscape, or a portrait style book? Now, this is a little bit, this comes after deciding where you're going to design, because if you design in something like Project Life, square books are the only option, or square page designs are the only option through Project Life. So once you've determined where you're going to design, now you can go into that site and decide, okay, what size of book am I really looking for? So I would say that probably 90% of the books that I create for my clients are 10 by 10. That's a very popular size. 12 by 12 is nice also. I feel like those are for sort of some larger events, maybe a big anniversary or a memory book celebrating somebody's life. Excuse me, landscape books are very popular for travel photos, as are the 10 by 10, but landscape gives you that extra width for displaying really nice, landscape photos or group photos, travel photos. So that's something that you can consider if you are planning to do your photo book on a vacation or a holiday. The portrait style book, that's just a whole different feel. I'm working on one of those right now for a store slash deli who they're having their 25 years in service anniversary. So we're creating this celebration book, and the story of the life of the store is in an 11 by 14, and that's a great coffee table size book. Cover style is what you'll need to decide next. So do you want to do soft cover? Do you want to do hard cover? And then once you're into hard cover, you can decide, do you want the image wrap? Like you can see in the photo here, a photo on the front, that's what image wrap is called. You can design it however you'd like. Or do you want a textile cover? So leather, cotton, linen, there are different options. And then once you get into the textile, you can from there decide if you want embossing or debossing, or there are various options depending on the company that you're printing through. One thing that I will mention is softcover books. I feel like they're often overlooked, and they can be really, really great books. And I can show you after I created 2 books using the Photomyne app. I will say I took all of the bins of schoolwork from all of my kids, or both of my kids, I should say, all of their schoolwork over the years. And I scanned it all with my Photomyne app, and I put 2 softcover books together. They're thick, but they're softcover, and I love them that way. They're really great. So don't completely overlook the softcover option. The one thing that I will caution though is some of the sites rarely put sales on softcover. So they're cheaper, or I should say they're less expensive off the get-go. but sometimes the sales don't always apply to softcover. So if that's a concern, then maybe consider that before you start. Once you decide on your cover style, then you need to decide your page style. So soft cover, only one option. You're going to have standard pages. Once you get into the hardcover books, then you have options. You can choose standard pages, or you can upgrade to the lay flat pages. From there, you have high-end paper options. There will be thicker paper. You can find books that are more like the board book style, or fancy glossy or matte, or there are so many various page styles that you can get in, paper styles, I should say, that you can get into once you get into the higher end books. So if you have something that's super special, you could look at some extra kind of special options that are quite interesting. For your standard everyday style book, softcover or hardcover is fine. Standard pages are fine. If you have group photos or great vacation photos, you might want to consider the lay flat pages. The other thing that I will mention about lay flat is if you are creating books that are going to be enjoyed by children or older people, the lay flat books sit so much nicer and are so much easier to handle. So if you're creating a lay flat or a photo book for somebody who's I don't know what age, but an older person and maybe losing some of their strength or dexterity, then maybe a lay flat page book is what you want to consider. Okay, so our next step is gathering photos. This is a big step for people and overwhelming for people. What you need to figure out is, where are your photos? Are they all on your phone? Are they all on your computer? Do you have a combination of printed photos and digital photos? What you need to do now is you need to get all of those photos into one location. Now, some people will say, it's okay, I have great note-taking skills, and I know that day one photos from our trip are all in this photo album, or all in this album on my phone. Day two from our trip photos are on my camera, so I'm going to get those from my computer. You could write this out. For me, and for the photo manager part of me, I like to gather everything into one location first and organize from there. So if your photos are on your phone, create an album or create a folder with some albums. You can use shared albums, and if shared albums is something you're familiar with, go ahead and use it. I can answer questions on shared albums more later, but this is a great place where if you are on a holiday with other families, you can create a shared album, invite those other people to that album, and now you can all contribute photos to that shared album. It's a really great place to share photos. You could be on a family holiday with a few different families. You could be in a wedding situation where you want wedding guests to be able to upload photos to a shared album. When you have that shared album, those photos are not actually sitting in your camera roll. So you can go into that shared album, you can view all the photos that people have submitted, and now you make the option to what you choose, I should say, which photos you want to take from there and add to your camera roll. So I can get into more detail later if anybody has questions on that, but shared albums is a good option for gathering photos together, especially from other people. The favorite button on your phone, regardless of Android, Apple, whatever phone you're using, you will have some sort of a favorite button, whether it's a heart or a star. Some people overuse this and have their favorites album full of hundreds of photos already, but if you have that fairly empty, either empty or fairly empty, then go ahead and work through your photos that you want to put in your photo book and use that favorite button. So all of the photos that you want to use will now sit in that favorites folder. You can go to that one folder and you can pull your photos from there into your photo book project. If you use a camera outside of your phone, or you have photos on your computer, go ahead and create folders on your computer and take it further and use subfolders. If you want to add subfolders by theme, or if you are doing a vacation book and you want to add day 1, day 2, day 3 as subfolders, it's going to only help you later when you go to design your book. If you have printed photos that you want to add into your book, of course, go ahead and scan them. Combine them with your digital photos. If your photos are on your phone, then go ahead and scan them and have them all in that one location. There was also a question that came in ahead of time asking, is the resolution from scanned photos sufficient for large prints or photo books? So yes, and as I said, I did complete two entire books using the Photomyne app, and I was scanning documents and artwork and photos, and But I will say, if you have precious family photos that you think you may want to really enlarge in the future for something, then I would suggest a higher end scanner, like a professional scanning service through a photo manager or something similar. But definitely, if you want to be able to scan photos to add into a photo book, then go ahead and scan as you can. One tip that I'd like to give you, regardless of where your photos are sitting, you've made your folder on your phone or on your computer, wherever it's sitting, you can upload photos from any device, regardless of where you want to do your design. So for example, if all of your photos are on your phone, but yet you know you want to do the work on your computer, it's no problem. Go into your computer, go to the site, for example, open Mixbook, create your book project, name it, save it. Now close it on your computer. Open it on your phone, open that project, just go to the browser, open it on your phone, and hit that upload photos button, upload them from your phone. When they're finished uploading, you can close your phone down and you can go back to your computer and you can do the work there. So it gives you options. You don't have to feel like you have to transfer photos from this device to this device. You can open the project from wherever you are and upload your photos from there. Okay, so the next step. Step number 5 is design. This is the part that we really need to not overthink, because we all know when we design anything ourselves, we're very critical of it. So we need to dive in and we need to not overthink every step. I always recommend that people start with a template. It's great. Sites like, most of the sites have some templates, but of course, Mixbook, Canva, they're going to have their unlimited number of templates. So hop in there. If you have a specific theme in mind, you can type that theme into the search bar and it will come up with many, many templates specifically with that theme. Now, if you look through and you think none of them really speaks to you, it's no problem. You don't have to specifically look for a template related to the theme that you are working on. Go back to the original, all of the templates in a big row and just scroll through. Find something that appeals to you when it comes to layout and color and fonts and embellishments, because anything can be edited. You can add, you can take away, you can definitely make it your own, but at least will give you a perfect starting point. So definitely start with a template. Whenever I work on photo book projects, I import my photos in sections. So we'll go back to the example of a trip book. I would go in and upload all of day 1. And whether day 1 photos makes 1 spread or 4 spreads, that doesn't matter. I have all the day 1 photos together and I work on that section. When that's finished, then I go ahead and I import the next section. Be selective with your photos. So you've already gone through and you've selected from your, large number of photos, but don't be afraid at this point to say, okay, I actually don't need that one. Okay, those two are too similar. Be selective. The fewer you have, the more the ones you have will stand out. So if you're going to add 3 photos to a page that are almost the same, it's going to take away from all 3. But if you put one up there, or even one as your focal point and a second one as a supporting photo, it will be much more effective than having 3 in a row that are almost the same. Add variety in your layouts. So you can see the 3 examples to the right. They are very, very different. And these are not from the same book, obviously, but just to give you an idea of 3 different styles of layouts, feel free to change it up. What you want, actually, I'll get to this in a minute, of the things that you do want to stay consistent in when you're designing your book. But like the photo in the bottom with one big photo across the double page spread, those are so effective when you can add them in there. It could be a group photo, it could be a landscape photo from a holiday, it can be, and obviously just like this, it's a family photo. So whatever you want to put one photo on a page, it can be really, really special. The one above it, obviously, if you are the kind of person who just wants to pack in as many as you can, and you want to get your money's worth and get a bunch of photos into this photo book, then go ahead and put them in. And if you do that in a neat and tidily order, it can also be very effective. The one at the top is somewhere in between. We have more than just one photo, but the pages are not packed full. It's kept very simple and very clean, but add variety in your layouts. Also remember the page style that you chose. So if you have the photo in the third sample there on the bottom, if you are not creating a lay flat book, then you would not want to put that photo in that location, because part of that baby's face is going to be hidden in the gutter of the book, which is the inner, like this inner side of the spine is the gutter. So that works on a lay flat layout. And it can, let me back up here a second, but the gutter of the book, you can have people and their bodies crossing over that gutter. Just try to avoid the faces. So if you have a group photo, just shift it however you need to the left or the right so that nobody's face is right in the gutter, but otherwise it's going to work just fine to have people, and you can see there their hands and shoulder are in that gutter area, and that's going to be just fine for a lay flat book. Remember that if you're using the standard pages, then yes, you would want to put that photo of the family on the left page. You'd want to move it to the right side if you're using standard pages, so that their faces can be easily seen on the outer edge of the page. Hope that's clear. Consistency is key. So there's the little bonus that I'm going to talk about at the end is I have a PDF that you can print out, the 10 tips to pro photo books. And it's all about consistency in your fonts, in your spacing, in your alignment, in all those sorts of things that really will take your book up a level. So just be consistent. Okay, so finalizing and ordering your book. This is again a reminder to expect a little bit of imperfection. It's going to be awesome when you get it back, even if it has the odd little piece in there that you prefer maybe had been switched out or spelled properly, whatever it is, but just be prepared that maybe there'll be something, but that is okay. So take time when you're finished your book to review from front to back in one sitting. Go through the whole thing, and it really lets you see, oh, that photo's out of place, or oh, I do have that photo in there twice. Now, some people like to wait till they've added all their photos in, and then they'll wait to the end to go through and add any text so that it flows really nicely. Some people like to add as they go along. However you prefer. I'm a person who doesn't add a ton of text to my photo books. It's my least favorite part, is the whole journaling part. So I may add a little caption here and there, or maybe some dates or whatever that is. But now if you're getting into a family history book, then it's probably going to be text heavy. So you'll probably want to add these as you're working through. Just be sure, go from front to back, read through all your text, make sure it flows. Make sure you're not flip-flopping between third person and first person. That happens a lot when you create pages at different stages. So take a good look, start to finish. This is also where your final step will be a little bit dependent on where you've designed your pages. Have you designed on a site where you can simply hit print, submit, and your book's going to come in the mail? Or have you designed in a program or an app where you have these pages, and now what do I do with these pages? So if that's the case, if you have used something like Project Life and you have your pages designed, okay, wait, I should back up for a second. Project Life, you can also order books through. I just have never, because I'm not in the US, and I actually don't think they ship to the US, but that would be something worth looking into. If you're going to use something like Canva, for example, and you've created pages, now you need to decide where you want to get those pages into a book and printed. So if I were to design in Canva, as an example, I would take those pages and then I would import them into Picto. And if you add each page to a single page in that book and you fill the page with your image, then you have a full book. You didn't design it in Picto, but you added your pages into Picto, and then you can hit the submit and print button. I hope that's clear. I can clarify that at the end if I need to. Okay, and again, be consistent. Absolutely, that's what's going to take your book up to the next level. So this is the PDF that I was mentioning. It just has the 10 tips, something to keep in mind as you're working through your books. This, if you choose to use this QR code and enter your email address, then this PDF will be sent to you. I also wonder if it's coming later to you in an email from this webinar. That I can't remember for sure. So up to you. If you'd like to use that, that QR code, then go ahead and that PDF will be sent to you. The other thing that I wanted to mention is I do have a YouTube channel all about photo books. So if you are interested in learning more. And this YouTube channel's only been going for about 6 months, so I have so much more information to put out there. So we're getting going on it. But if you'd like to learn more, feel free to join me there or reach out with questions to any of these other places. So anyway, I'm happy to hop on and answer questions. Let me stop the screen share. Actually not giving me the stop option. Do you have it there? I think you're muted, Mickey.
Sorry for that. No, I said that you can
Just gives me the share option.
let me see if I can stop the sharing. Let's see. Let me see if I can quit it and then
Yeah,
okay.
verse.
And then I'll stop sharing. Okay, I think we're all set,
There we
right?
go.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, ready. Thank you so much for the presentation. It was awesome. Yeah, definitely the links will be sent through the emails that we're going to send after the webinar with the link for the recording and the link to sign up to get the slides of this presentation. I think we have a lot of questions. I try to answer some of them that were more related to Photomyne. But we definitely have some questions about photo books and about companies about that. I wanted to say that there was some questions about Photomyne creating photo books. So it's something that we tried in the past to do with some other companies that try to help us with that. But we discovered that most of the photo books are a combination between old and new. And with Photomyne, you only scan the old photos. And people who wish to create a photo book, in most of the cases, wish to do it with a mix of old and new. So definitely we recommend to try to like find the software that you find like most comfortable working with, and that it ships to your location, and that it's like easy to use. And with Photomyne, you can definitely scan the photos, the old photos, like from the albums or from, the loose photos, and then import those photos, uh, like to the software. And so definitely we can like open the Q&A and we can find some interesting questions that we found. So we're gonna go through that
You
together.
want me to?
Shanna,
Yeah.
I also have everything in the document if you want to take a look, the questions.
Okay. I do have the document here. I also have the other couple questions that came through ahead of time. One was, how can I design pages that balance visual appeal with historical preservation? So that, I think I understood it properly, but one thing, when you're doing these books that combine the old pieces with our new digital photos, and designing them properly, just make sure that you want to keep them simple and clean, so a lot of white space. The other thing that's really neat is when you're using the scans from these old documents or old photos, use the actual handwriting when you can. So use a scan of the handwriting, even if you pick it apart, say you have the photo and maybe there's handwriting on the border, you can actually use that as two separate photos. You can have the photo and then you can put a caption below using the actual handwriting. So use the pieces whenever you can, and keep them clean and tidy. Obviously, colors will matter, so you won't want to get too vibrant with colors. You'll want to use the neutrals, and those sorts of things. And when you're using if you've scanned or taken images of the old documents or old photos, avoid over editing. That would be another thing that I would say. Okay, should I look through?
Okay, there's one question about about Photomyne and printing like photo books. If the quality is good enough. So I want to answer for that. Yes, definitely you can scan all photos. As Shanna mentioned that like she did her project with Photomyne and then printed the book. My recommendation for that will be to scan one by one, and to have like a new iPhone or like an Android with a high quality camera. if you scan one by one, it might be a little bit slower, but the resolution will be higher. So you can definitely use Photomyne to scan multiple photos at once. But for high resolution, I would suggest to go more closer and to have more DPI and more resolution and more data for each photo. It will give you like sufficient enough of resolution, same as like in flatbed scanner, and you can definitely print those photos on in a photo book.
I
And
see
also
there are
that,
a couple, oh,
Mhm.
sorry.
No, go
There
ahead,
are
go
a
ahead.
couple, there are a couple questions about digitizing slides. Um, I can't actually speak to digitizing. I'm not sure if Photomyne even works with slides. It does?
We
Okay.
do. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I guess because I offer scanning services as well, then I have my big slide scanners that I like to use. But if Photomyne scans slides, then that is an option for you as well. You
We
would
have
need
a
a
mode
light
inside the
source.
camera that you can switch into slides mode. Slides mode is one by one, so we don't support like multiple slides at the same times. For slides and negatives, you need to get like a backlight. So like either like a light pad or like an iPad maybe with a very strong light that can have a backlight to share on the content of the slide itself. And then the app will
What that will look
recognize
like.
exactly
This
something
is
like
a
that.
light, yeah, a light pad that you would set your slide on. Yeah.
Exactly. And you can find it on our Amazon store and we have it 30% off, like with the link that I sent you. Um, like once you do that and you put the slides, the app will recognize it's a slide and will take a snapshot of that and will crop only the image that's inside the slides. To get a better quality, I would also to just like maybe to take like a DSLR camera and just snapshots of slides and then import into Photomyne. It will automatically crop it for you. So it's another way to do that. Or you can, if you want to try to buy like a slide scanner, it's more professional way. But you can definitely do that. But with Photomyne, slides and negatives are definitely an option that you can try.
And if you're not interested in purchasing equipment and you would like to have a professional service do it for you, there are photo managers all across the world now. So if you do want to reach out, I could probably connect you with somebody who's in your area that you could physically take your things to, and they could help you if you prefer not to be doing all that techie yourself. So I can go through a couple more of these questions. There's one I don't understand. I usually use Shutterfly to create books. How is best to export photos? I guess I don't completely understand that. So maybe
It
if
was a
somebody can
question from like for us, I guess.
export photos from Photomyne. Oh, is that the question?
Photomyne or like other services, I guess. Yeah, so I think I answered those. It's like
Yeah.
really easy to carry the photos from Photomyne, so you can save it to your camera roll, or you can view your photos online on the portal and then save it as a zip to your computer, and then upload. So I think all the software that Shanna mentioned have the option for importing and connecting, as you mentioned, from your phone or from your computer from a hard drive. So it's really easy, and everything nowadays is being saved on the cloud. So every time that you import photos to your project, it's probably going to be stay there like enough time for you to start preparing and plan your photo book. I know Shutterfly, after a few months, they send you an email saying that they will delete the photos that are like stored there. Um, yeah, but most of the places have like an easy way to import like all the photos to the cloud. Um, yeah, but with Photomyne, it's really easy to export the photos either to your camera roll or down to computer or export to Google Photos. And you can take it from there and share it to all other services.
I see one question that says, I want to produce a 28-day devotional book with my bird photography. What company would be best for this type of project? So yeah, you'll want to use a program that's friendly with text. I would say I always send people to Mixbook. It's just easy to use. So definitely that's one that you could pop into easily with photos and text. I'm not sure where you're located. Maybe if that can come out, but I would check out Mixbook if you're wondering and wanting to get started from scratch. I think we've talked about a bunch of these. I'm just seeing, can I use my iPad as a backlight? That's an interesting question.
You can use it. It's not the best and perfect backlight. I think light pads are better as they have like a stronger light, but definitely you can try it and see if it works. Like in the beginning of SlideScan, we used to have the computer with the Google screen, which is all white, and put the slides in front of the computer. Yeah, but I think like a small light pad can like do the work much better than an iPad. Yeah, but definitely an iPad. There's apps for like white screens that you can download for free and just use it.
There's one question here. Do you ever use a black background for book pages? I have, and you can, and it can look really sharp. If you're going to do that, then I recommend a really decent print shop because black is tricky and black marks easily. It will, I guess the other thing to consider would be who's the audience. If you're going to have kids flipping through this book all the time, maybe black is not the best because it shows a lot. It shows creases and scratches and those sorts of things easier than some other colors, but it does look really effective. So, okay, are artisan and forever two different things? Okay, artisan is a PC only because it also says, are they iPhone compatible? So Artisan, no. Artisan is a software that you download on your Windows computer, and that's the only place you can use it. And it's like a digital scrapbooking style. Forever is a site that you can log into, forever.com. I go through this site a lot with people because they have cloud storage for photos. So you can log into their site and you can create photo books directly online as you can anywhere else. So I actually can't speak to how mobile friendly the site is, though. I'm sorry, I haven't used it on my phone. You can because it's a site that you can log into, but I'm just not sure. Some of them work so much nicer on mobile than others. So that would just be worth opening it up and trying it out. Is there a specific company that has the design that looks like old style vintage albums with black paper and handwriting? Definitely. If you go to somewhere like Mixbook or Canva and type that in the search bar, in the template search bar, then there will be templates that pop up for you for sure.
There's one question about Photomyne until you find like another question.
Sure, go ahead.
I noticed Photomyne sharpen only the faces, but not the whole photos. Am I doing something wrong? No, it's we decided to do only the faces, and we didn't want to apply a filter that will do the entire image. On our web portal, it's actually we do have the option to do the entire photo, but inside the app, we only take care of the faces as we found is the most crucial part of the photo, which we wanted to apply the filter. We didn't want the app to be very heavy in terms of megabytes and to run slowly. Yeah, so the sharpening tool only works on the faces inside the app. On our online portal, when you sharpen, it's going to sharpen the entire image.
One question I can address, it's what is the best resolution of a size of photo to use? So this is a question that people have a lot. So when you are looking at the size of a photo or an image, you'll see the dimensions, like the pixel dimensions. For example, it could say 2100 by 1800. So what you want to do when you find those numbers, and if you have a photo on your computer, you can go into the properties of that photo is where you'll find this information, often right click in properties or something like that. So if it says 2100 by 1800, and this is just an example for easy math, what you want to do is divide those numbers by 300. So 2100 divided by 300 is going to give you 7. 1800 divided by 300 is going to give you 6. So you're going to end up with a 7 by 6 photo. So if you put that photo on your page as a 7 by 6, it will be at perfect resolution. So you can increase those a little bit and get away with it. But if you start increasing them much further, they're going to start to get pixelated and blurry. So hopefully that gives people a little bit of an understanding of sizing for photos.
There was a question about the difference for scanning black and white negatives. You can definitely scan those with Photomyne also, or to get the help from a photo manager, or to get like any equipment. With Photomyne, you can definitely try it. Again, it requires a light source, and it will recognize like one by one. The tip here is that the camera and the app needs to recognize the strips on the sides of the negatives, and the negative that you wish to scan needs to be in the center. Like once you do that, the app will recognize it's a negative, so will crop like the middle part of the strip, and we'll invert the colors into positive, and we'll keep it.
I see somebody is asking to see some albums to get an idea of what they look like. So I don't know if you want to, I have just a couple beside me. So this is a tiny little 6x6 soft cover. And this was the month, like one photo a month. So or one photo a day. So we basically just took one picture each day and added it into a book. And then in no time, you have a little snapshot of a month in the life of your family. So a fun little project. Also fun project to do with kids. There are some, I can give you an example. This is a 8.5 by 11 travel book. So it's a little bit of a thicker book and it's lay flat. So you can see how you can put some photos across the gutter. It is pretty special. Other trip books I have here, I guess. So this is a 10 by 10 book compared to an 11 by 8.5 by 11 book. Sorry, I keep going the wrong way. And yes, I was going to show you the school books that I created with the Photomyne app. And I didn't grab them actually. These are the soft cover books that ended up, they're thick enough to make them worthwhile. Really great. So I grabbed scans of the images and the artwork, tests, report cards, and just put everything in these two books. So if you have kids and you want to get rid of those bins of paper, this is also a great place to start. Set up a nicely lit space on your table, somewhere by a window, and give yourself a bit of a nice background. You can get some foam core pieces from a dollar store, either black or white, or use a white sheet or something like that, and take all your scans or your images with your app, and then you can go from there and put your book together. So does that give you enough of I have lots of books, but I don't need to go through them all. What else did I miss?
I think we'll take another, like a couple of questions. And we need to.
Oh, there's another page on the document. Sorry, I thought it was too small. Hang on. If you do not have a great quality phone, can you recommend a great efficient scanner for individual photos? So obviously we're here with Photomyne, so we can talk about Photomyne. I will also mention that the scanners that I use in my office are Epson. I'm happy with Epson. I have a whole series of various scanners and they're all Epson and I'm very happy with them. I'm doing a family history book with lots of text. Do you have a tip for how to add text to each page? For example, does a program like Project Life have text boxes? Yes, Project Life has text boxes and easy to use text boxes. One thing I will say about working on a book with with plenty of text, create your first layout, create your first text box with the font and the size of font and the color of font that you want to use. Whenever I go to the next layout, I either duplicate that layout or I copy that text box so that I don't need to reformat everything again. If you have things the way you like them, copy that text box, paste it onto the next page, and then just cover it over with the proper text. But that way you don't have to reformat everything every time. It's an easy copy and paste, or simply duplicate the layout and then change up your photos and change up what you need to change and also change the text, but at least you have all your formatting set. How do you get your photos off your cloud? I would love to answer that further, but there are so many clouds and they're all different. So I'm just not sure which you mean by that. Okay, I'm working on a large quantity, 3 to 4 generations. I'm afraid of uploading too many photos to Photomyne. How long can I keep it there? Okay, that's a question for you, I guess.
We have unlimited storage, so you can upload any photos that you wish. And if you are a member of Photomyne and you have a premium subscription, so you can view the photos online and then edit those there and just like delete whatever photos you don't need to use like at the moment. Yeah, but definitely if you are a member, so you can upload any like how much photos that you wish like into Photomyne and just keep it there. I think a lot of people wish to separate between the new photos that are, iCloud or Google Photos with all the metadata there, with the old photos that needs a lot of like work to be done in order for them to be organized. And with Photomyne and the cloud of Photomyne, like a separate place to put all those photos there, we give you a very nice way to organize those photos by albums or by years and to tag those people and location. I said you can definitely, but there's like unlimited storage there, so you can import all the photos and just use it there.
I see one question. What is the best way to save old photos after you have used them in a photo book? So in the photo organizing part of work that I do, some people like to digitize things, get them out in print, and then they feel like they don't need them anymore. But then a lot of people do want to keep them. So proper storage is available, archival storage. Ideally, you get the right size boxes, so everything can be added in. If you've done the work to put them into a chronological order or however you've put your book together, even if it is by theme and you have your cards determining each, whether it's year or decade or whatever it is, they can be in a tidy box, archival safe that you can keep. And also remember when you're storing your photos, they want to live where you live. So don't put them in the attic or the basement or the garage. They do want to be in a, fairly neutral temperature area. So keep them, they want to live where you live. And that could be, if they're stored away in a tidy box, maybe it's in a closet. It doesn't have to be out in the middle of everywhere, but just not tucked in an attic or a damp basement or a place like that. Other than iCloud and Google, are there other cloud storages that you can recommend? There are.
There's a lot.
It's a lengthy conversation to find out what's going to suit you best. So Forever is one that I mentioned. Forever is the thing that's nice about Forever is it is a one-time payment. You purchase the amount of storage space that you need. It's not subscription. So that's one thing that's great about Forever. There is a lot of nice features with Forever. If you are an Amazon user, Amazon Prime user, they have unlimited photo storage included with your Prime. That is something you could look into as well. iCloud is definitely a popular one. Yeah, there are more, of course, but that's an in-depth conversation. I see it's 1 o'clock, so I should maybe stop talking, but
We need to wrap up. I
touching
think
on it.
it was amazing. And I think we got like so many questions. I think it's like one of our top webinars in terms of questions and interest. So amazing. We will definitely, I guess, follow up on that. And we're probably going to do like another webinar about it, as there's so many questions that are related to photo books. Again, I think it's an amazing product to give to someone, like even for yourself, and to keep the history alive. And use those photos that we that we take every day, tons of photos, and we have like a lot of photos from the past. So thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you so much, Shanna and Mary, for organizing this webinar. I said before, but I'll say it again. We're going to share all the information through the email that we're going to send. The recording is going to be live on our YouTube channel, and of course, all the links for Shanna, you're like happy to share with us. And you can get all the information there. So thank you so much and have a nice day, everyone. Stay warm wherever you
Have a
are.
great day.
Yeah. See you.
Bye bye.